Dell made some bold claims when it said its XPS 13 would be the fastest laptop in its class. And guess what? It's true. This is the new Dell XPS 13, completely redesigned and completely different than the previous model, which I happen to have right here. This is the previous XPS 13. I'm gonna hold them up. What's different? Physically, thinner, well, slightly thinner. About 16 millimeters versus 19 millimeters, and slightly lighter at 2 pounds 10 ounces versus 2 pounds 12 ounces. So a little thinner, a little lighter, and a lot faster. Even though both of these laptops have essentially what is the same 8th generation Core i Intel processor, this new XPS 13 is just smoking fast. But there's a lot more to it than just performance. Long overdue on the XPS 13, a Windows Hello camera. But on the previous model, Dell had the camera down in this corner, which of course was the butt of many jokes because all you got to see was your knuckle when you typed. This new version moves it to the middle, and it's an IR camera that supports Windows Hello mode. So you can just open up your laptop, it'll log in with your face. If you don't want to use your face or the lighting is bad, there's also a clever Windows Hello supported fingerprint reader in the power button. So when you turn on your laptop, you basically touch it again and it turns on. Also different in the new XPS 13 is the Gorilla Glass 4. This is Corning Gorilla Glass 4, which gives you more protection and gives you a very nice glossy feel on the screen. The previous version at 1080p was a matte finish. If you really like the glossy finish, this is nice. It does look more luxurious, but if you are working outside or you have a lot of glare, you may prefer the actual matte finish from the previous design. This isn't bad. Again, this is the 1080p version and it puts out 430 nits. That's pretty bright for a laptop in this size. A lot of them generally top out at about 350 if they're good, maybe 300. So hitting 430 nits, that is a decently bright screen, a very bright screen in fact, for this class of laptop. The most controversial part of the new XPS 13, certainly for me, is the choice of ports. I'm gonna hold again the old XPS 13, previous generation, the new one on the bottom in rose gold. On the top, we get an SD card, a USB Type A, a Noble Lock. On the new one, we get a micro SD instead of SD card reader, a little smaller, a USB-C, and an analog audio port. Flip it around to the other side. The old design gives you your analog, another USB-A, and USB-C. This one did support Thunderbolt. There is also proprietary charging barrel lock to support the typical Dell chargers. The new one moves completely to USB-C charging. These two ports are Thunderbolt 3, and all three of them should be able to charge the laptop. And of course, here's that Noble Lock port again. Yes, there's no Type A. That's really gonna burn a lot of people. It does kill me that they didn't do this. I think it's controversial, but Dell at least gives you a nice matching white dongle to go with it. My problem, you lose these things and then you're on the road, you're in bad shape. But the nice thing is, Dell did say, hey, we're giving you a Thunderbolt 3 on this one. The old one had it as well, but it was only Thunderbolt 3 2 lanes. The new one supports 2 Thunderbolt 3 4-lane implementation of PCIe. That basically means if you don't get it, more performance. We're talking 40 gigs per port, I believe. So a lot more than the previous generation XPS 13. Of course, what's inside counts as well, and there are significant differences. The previous generation XPS 13 had a larger battery, about 60 watt hours. Dell basically had to throw some things out to make it thinner and to make it faster. The new one has a 52 watt hour battery. That's about a 14% reduction in battery size. The good news, in actual runtime, doing video rundown tests, we found the performance to be just about the same. So even though you're getting 14% less battery life on the new XPS 13, you're getting about the same 11 to 12 hours worth of runtime as the previous model. And of course, these are both 1080p versions. If you step up to the pricey 4K version, you take a big hit in battery life, at least 30%. So you want battery life, go for 1080p. Another part of the smaller battery in the new XPS 13 is the improved cooling. Besides being thinner, Dell had to shove more fans, more cooling into the new XPS 13. That means smaller battery, but that pays dividends in what's the most important thing, and that's performance. And the performance message on the new XPS 13 is all there. I just finished testing this laptop and it is smoking fast. How fast? This new XPS 13 with its Core i5 8250U is every bit as fast, if not faster, than most of the Core i7 8550U laptops I've tested. I'll say that again, Core i5 faster than most Core i7 laptops. For example, in Cinebench R15, this 8th generation Core i5 laptop is 9% faster than a Core i7 8th gen. But Cinebench is a really short test. What about something that really heats up the laptop and takes a long time to run? For that, we use Handbrake to encode a 30 gig file using one of the presets in the program. In that, again, the Core i5 8th gen is about 3.5% faster than the 8th gen Core i7 laptop. Even kookier, I took 15-inch laptops that are usually cooler and faster because they're so much bigger. I compared those to the XPS 13, and while the XPS 13 wasn't faster, it was pretty close. In fact, I gotta say, compared to a Lenovo Yoga 15-inch, the XPS 13 turned in the identical Handbrake score. And against a Dell XPS 15 with a Skylake quad-core 45-watt processor, it's just a little slower, maybe 8% slower than a great big 15-inch laptop with a lot more cooling and a lot more CPU. So the performance message is clear. This likely is the fastest 13-inch Ultrabook in town. So the real question is it worth it? I ask that because Dell is still selling the older XPS 13 on its website alongside the new XPS 13. I gotta say, this laptop is gonna win in almost every category. It's faster, it's thinner, it's a little lighter. Even the power brick is smaller and lighter and better. But there's one thing that really could have made the new XPS 13 the most perfect Ultrabook in the world, and that's this. If they had just included a Type A port, I'd say it would be perfect because this is really the only thing that needs to be improved on it. But if that doesn't bug you to have to carry this dongle around with you, I gotta say the new XPS 13 is the way to go.